Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special episode of Run What You've Brung. We've got two very off-road worthy trucks that we're going to drag race today because we have a Raptor versus a GMC Canyon. And Matt, come on out here. That's not a stock Canyon, is it?
No, it is not.
What have you done to it?
Just added a supercharger.
And you ready to drag race?
I am ready.
That is coming up right now. This should be a really interesting drag race because we've got GM versus Ford. We've got a 3.6 liter versus a 3.5 liter. So this engine is actually bigger, but it's of course supercharged. And now it produces 370.8 horsepower at the wheels. The Raptor, well, that's a twin turbo and produces 450 horsepower at the crank, so more power, but a heck of a lot more weight. Let's just get right to it. I'm gonna put this truck into 4 automatic, and I'm gonna put it into sport mode to get the best possible launch. Spool up these turbos just a little bit. Here we go. There goes the Raptor.
That was impressive.
But once you got that supercharger spooled up, I saw that coming right back at me.
I'm trying to figure out if I need to do a little gas brake before I start, but I'm not sure what the right number is.
Yeah. You want to do it again?
If I could.
Yeah, let's do it again. Matt, I gotta ask you, why did you decide to put a supercharger on your truck? What was the thinking there?
It was more power.
Yeah.
I wanted more power. I wanted to tow with it. Supposed to get better gas mileage. I would if I didn't drive it like a race car. So, but the more power is definitely the main reason.
Yeah, and I see you took it to a dyno here, and you've got 370 horsepower and 326 pound-foot of torque to the wheels, not at the crank.
Yes.
And did you do it yourself?
I did the install myself,
okay.
But these guys tuned it.
All right, and tell me about the supercharger you chose.
I went with RIP. It was one of the first ones that was available for these trucks. Plus, I got a pre-production price. Help them with their instructions, point out any flaws or anything we came across.
How much work did it take?
I think they say 8 to 12 hours. It took my son and I combined probably 20 hours, but we took our time, had a couple beers afterwards, so that spread out the time.
But you ran into some issues, right?
I did.
All right, talk to me about those.
And they're mostly, well, I tow with it, a 5,200 pound trailer, and this truck's supposed to handle it, but I also do it in the mountains. I was getting some transmission temperatures I didn't like, so I'm not sure if it's because I blocked the airflow with a big intercooler.
Yeah, so usually there are these louvers here that open and close.
I had to remove the factory shutters.
Yep.
Yes.
So those are gone. Now there's a big intercooler.
Yes.
That's stuck in there. So what'd you do? How'd you mitigate that?
I put in a powered auxiliary transmission fan cooler, so I can turn it on when it gets too hot, shut it back down when it cools down. Seemed to help quite a bit.
But you said you had it blowing in to the engine bay.
I had it sucking cold air from the bottom, dumping the hot air in the engine bay. So then I started getting some hot engine temperatures when I'm towing over like Eisenhower. So not anything to panic about, just higher than I'd like to see. So I reversed it. So we'll see if that works better next summer.
So it sounds to me like you need a half-ton.
I would like a bigger truck. Yeah. I bought the truck before I had a trailer, so it was a perfect truck if you just run it as a truck.
And one of the things I noticed is that you lost the front air dam.
Yes, that my son did that for me on a 2-track, going a little too fast.
Okay, so it was
and half of it started dragging, so we took the rest of it off. So
now, have you seen spike in performance after you put the supercharger on? What was it like the first time you drove it after you put the blower on?
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Because it had a lot more power than it did. There's a thing that my son and I would call the hot tub effect, where you get in a hot tub, it's great, and then you get used to it.
Oh.
So it was fantastic at first, and now I'm curious if it's still performing as well as it was when I first got it, or am I just used to it?
Now, what's this gauge for right there?
I do have a Bi-Air constant duty air tank on the back, because with the bigger tires, I don't carry a spare. It wouldn't do me any good, so I carry that. I carry plugs. I've used it before where I'll get a flat, I'll plug it, air it up, and then get back on the road.
I noticed the air intake is kind of down there.
Yeah,
that seems like an odd place for it.
Well, yeah, a lot of heat There's a hole in the inner fender. That's where it used to draw the air from with the factory box. So I imagine I could fashion some sort of box to try to get it to suck cold air in from the outside, but it goes through the intercooler. Don't know how much that helps. So,
You have done a lot. And then I noticed you've got auxiliary gauges over here as well.
That's my boost gauge and my air fuel gauge, so I can monitor what the engine's doing.
It's funny, I spend a lot of time talking to engineers at the big companies, and the one thing they will always tell you is it's really about heat management. In other words, how do you cool that engine? And the more horsepower you put into it, and the more weight you're towing, the more heat you're generating, and getting rid of that heat is tricky, especially if you have to comply to crash standards and styling requirements. And I think Matt is running into that issue, but let's do one more drag race. Here we go. Brake torque it. There goes the Raptor, there go the twin turbos, forced induction, and here comes Matt. You know, what'd be interesting if we took this to a longer track.
I was gonna say I need about another eighth of a mile to try to get closer.
Yeah, you know, we need like Bandamere to really do it.
Someday you should set that up. I'll make it.
Yeah, all right, but I'm impressed, dude. That was really good.
Man, that thing is quick.
It is. You know, this is the jewel in the crown of the best-selling vehicle in America. So a lot of talent, time, and engineering effort went into making this what it is.
Very nice.
And it's you and your son.
Yeah.
So I commend you, man.
We did our best.
You did a good job. Well, Matt, that was an interesting result, but if you had it to do all over again, would you modify your truck?
I most certainly would.
Really? Even though deep down you really want a half ton?
I got to make it the best it can.
And you know, I'm kind of thinking if you get a half ton, it won't be long before that's got a supercharger on it as well.
I promised the wife I would keep it original.
As always, this is Roman and Matt saying thanks for watching, and check out tfltruck.com. Is she gonna watch this?
I hope not.
For more news, views, and of course, real world drag racing, run what you brung reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao. Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course.